Good morning, everybody. Today's workout is our assessment workout for this October. So please make sure you take the time to look through the video completely and pay attention to any specifics on the exercises that we talk about. All right, here we go. So this workout is going to start with a block that you're going to repeat at the end. It's a repetition count block, so you've got 30 seconds of one exercise, 30 seconds of another exercise. You're going to count your reps on them. You can take a break between each one. You do not need to go right from one into the other. So take a break before you hit those push-ups. And then you'll repeat that at the end. Make sure that you keep track of your reps for both, because I want to make sure that we know how many you did at the beginning and how many you were able to do at the end. The middle of the workout, the bulk of our workout, you're going to be doing in groups of time. So just like we've done before, where we take 3 exercises or 2 or 4 exercises, and we do as many rounds as we can of those couple in a set amount of time, and then we take a break. So I want you to try really hard to take no more than like 2 minutes on your break, mostly just to record, grab a drink of water, and get yourself ready. Please try really hard not to take like a full 5-minute break. That really kills the continuity of the workout, as well as the testing of cardiovascular endurance. So try real hard to pay attention to the time on that. Okay, so I'm going to go through each exercise like I normally do. The first one is going to be burpees to flat. We have this one just like we did in our last assessment. So as a review, the burpee to flat goes down to a squat, feet jump or walk out behind, full body to the ground, feet come back in, and it does have some kind of power here. So either hop and reach, or if you are not hopping because of knee issues or any other issues that you have going on, it's got to at least have a reach and up on the toes. If you don't maintain it to the toes, it's basically have a sprawl. So make sure that you are forcing your body to get you up with nice power. All right, so one more time. To the ground, feet go out, lower to the ground, feet come back in, hop or power reach. Moving on, dumbbell lateral lunge to overhead press. The important thing to remember on this one is that our dumbbells are in rack position. So as a reminder, that's hands above the elbows, elbows tucked into the rib cage. So we're going to execute one lateral lunge. Outside knee bends, hips push back. Your elbows should come right out in front over that knee. Back together. Overhead press. I don't care whether you rotate your palms forward or leave your palms facing each other. Does not matter. And then we change direction, so we are alternating. Elbows forward, back together, overhead press. This one is a left and right, so you need to make sure that you do the total number to the left and to the right, alternating sides. Next are our crab taps. Most of you guys remember these crab taps. They start down, resting on the hands. Fingers can be forward or backwards, whatever's comfortable to your wrist. Hips come up in the air a little bit. Your goal is to try not to touch the hips, but if they accidentally touches, you lose your balance, it's okay. So hips are up off the ground. We are lifting opposite foot and hand to meet in the middle. Your goal is to tap that toe. Everything comes back down and switch. So again, we are doing left and right. So alternating 1, that makes 1, 2, 2. The tighter you keep your abdominals on this one, and the harder you try to keep your sternum and your navel centered between your legs, the easier this one is. If you're rocking a lot side to side, not only will it take you longer, we're not getting as much shoulder benefit, and also you're going to lose your balance more often. So really focus on engaging your core to stay centered on that one. Okay, so our next group of 3 exercises are all band. Now you may have some variations on this one depending upon the intensity of your band. If you have a lighter band, you're going to be able to move pretty quick through these, and that's perfectly fine. You're just going to have more rounds that you've got to beat on that last assessment. If you have a heavier band, we'll talk about some modifications that you might need to make. So first exercise is is our band squat and press. Again, we're up in that rack position. Feet, you want to make sure whether your band is tight or loose, that your feet are hip width. From here, elbows go forward, squat, overhead press. Now again, I don't care whether you rotate your palms forward or not, but you've got to get your arms up even with your ears. So if you go overhead and you can see your arms, your shoulders are not open. So we're not working on that range of motion. Really open those shoulders, abdominals nice and tight. Don't let the hips pop forward on you. So elbows forward, stand all the way tall, overhead press. If you have a tight band and the number of reps that are listed, you cannot get overhead every time. Here's what you're gonna do, one arm at a time. Count the squat still, but make sure you let me know I had to alternate arms, okay? But still count the squat. So if your rep count is 10 or 8, you're only gonna do a total of 10 or 8 on those squats. You're just taking one arm at a time. Because where it's gonna catch you is on the next one. The next one is just our band overhead press. So abs and tight, we are leaving out the squat and just pressing overhead. So if you've got a band, you can do double arm. You have that number of reps, trying not to move anything else in your body. Now, if your band is tight, I promise you this is not a punishment. This is how we can keep comparison. If your band is too tight, to get overhead with both arms with nice good form, abs tight, everything tall, you're gonna alternate. 1, 1, 2, 2. Yes, it will take you longer, but if, as we work these and as your shoulders get stronger, you get to the end of this assessment and you can do both arms, you've just made up probably 20 seconds worth of time on these. So it's gonna benefit you in the end to do whatever challenges you now. All right, so don't decide, I just gotta get it there. I don't wanna have to do one arm at a time. It makes me look weaker. No, it doesn't make you look weaker. You're working with your strength or the heaviness of your band. So single arm if you need to, and if you can do 8, and I can't get it there anymore, I'm gonna finish it single arm. That's fine, just let me know. I did mostly 10, but then on the last couple rounds I could only get to 6, and then I had to do single arm. That's fine. We're gonna know in the end when you're stronger, so don't worry about it. So our last band exercise is a tricep kickback. So same position with our feet. Our feet have not moved on our band the whole block. So it's gonna make the transition on this one pretty easy. What I want you to do is stay hold of the handle on this one. So a lot of times when we do tricep kickback, we switch to the band. Stay with the handle on this one. Hip hinge, press those hips back. Elbows are gonna be above your rib cage. Palms facing backwards. That's what's gonna add the challenge to this one, is you gotta keep the wrist straight and press all the way back. A lot of times what happens, a lot of times what happens is we break our wrist on these because it's harder in this position to get there. You gotta keep those wrists straight and the elbows up. Elbows never come forward, all right? Keep them pressed back. Otherwise it turns into a bicep curl into your tricep. Don't waste your time. Keep those elbows up, press them straight. All right, same thing on that one. If you get to where you cannot fully extend them, then you alternate. 1, 1, 2, and 2. All right, so that's block 2. Then we go into block 3, all body weight. Mountain climbers are first. It is our basic mountain climber. So plank position, feet back behind, knees to the center, keeping the hips down. You're gonna go pretty quick on this one. You're welcome to run them, but your butt cannot come up in the air. So no hips high, hips low. Bring those knees in quick, right to the center. Left and right to make 1. Then we go into our tuck-ins from flat. We did these at our last assessment. So it's that nice long body. Arms start behind the head. Remember that you've got to get high enough to press that low back down. So my low back presses down, everything, I lost my balance. Let's try that again. Low back presses down, everything comes in strong, and everything everything unwinds back out. So low back down, pull it in, all the way back out. All right, last one on this block, our power lunges. For those of us who are jumping, power lunge, you're going to switch from one lunge all the way into the next. So up in the air, switch legs. Up in the air, switch legs. That is the ultimate power lunge. Modification number one. You're going to come back to center each time. So I'm going to hop out to one lunge. I'm going to come back to the middle. Then switch legs. Middle and switch. That takes a lot of the hop, or the amount of hop that you have to do, out of the equation when you come back to center. The other thing that it does is takes the impact out a little bit more, because you're not jumping as high, you're not landing quite as hard. So that's modification number one. Modification number two is to step it but quickly, preferably a reverse. So back and in, back and in. Perfectly fine too. Just let me know which one you do, or make note to yourself of which one you do. Okay, that's the bulk of your assessment workout. So you're going to have a round count for all of them. So maybe on block one, I got 2 rounds, and the last thing I finished were the burpees to flat. Or on round 2, I got 3 rounds through, but I didn't finish the overhead press, which tells me the last thing you finished were the squat and press. And then I'll keep track of it from there. Okay, the final block of work is a list of exercises that you're going to hit one time, as hard and fast as you can. You're going to time yourself. We're going to try to beat that time next time. 4 exercises. The first is a speed squat to a specific height. So what we're looking for is to get a squat that you are actually getting a full 90 degrees or more. So I've got a setup right here. It took me a while going through all of my boxes in the garage to find something that would work. But what we're looking for is something that when you sit all the way down, so I'm all the way down and rested, that I have at least a 90 degree bend at my knee. I have slightly more than 90 degree at my knee. The reason I want you to make sure that you are at a minimum 90 is because when you go to actually squat and tap it, you're probably not sitting quite as low as you do when you rock back into that chair. So make sure, I would rather you be slightly low than be too high, because if my box was a little bit higher, then when I go to speed squat, I'm not going to hit that 90 degree I want to hit. I'm going to remember, as we program things for moving forward in life, as we get older, some of the most important things are, can you get up off the floor? How easy is it to stand up and get back down? It sounds silly, but they're super important for longevity. I think we've talked about it in class before a while back too. Some of the science that's shown that equation, how many times you can get up and get down gracefully or easily, is a sign for how long you're going to live, because you've got to be able to go through all the range of motions of life at all times. So this one is really important to me. Make sure that you got your setup, and then record or take a picture of whatever you use so that you know next time to use the same thing. So with our speed squat, you'll have a certain number to do, and your goal is just to get it done as quick as you can. Make sure that you tap it before you come back up. So don't end up right above it. That defeats the purpose of having something to tap. Good stable surface behind you. Tap and stand. Tap and stand. Tap and stand. Fast as you can. Then we go for our push-ups. I'm leaving you with lots of variations and options on this push-up. So yes, ultimately, I would love for you to be on your feet with a 90-degree push-up, bend at the elbow. That'd be great. But my goal is speed. My goal is time for you guys and endurance on this block. So if by that, it means you get on your knees and you get about halfway down, and knock out 30 or whatever number you have to do, then that's fine. Pick what's going to challenge you. Pick where you feel like you're going to have room to really improve over the next 6 to 8 weeks. So for you, that may be up on your feet, getting about halfway down. It could be on your knees. It could be touching your chin, forcing yourself to touch your chin that many times. Totally up to you. Just make a note of whatever you choose to do. All right, last two, our sprawl. We've done these a lot. Jump them or walk them, I don't care. You've just got to get to that plank and back to the stand. And the final one, our alternating V-ups. Just like our tuck-ins, we're going from flat. So legs stretched out, arms stretched out, pulling the abdominals in tight, meeting one leg in the middle, back down, alternating legs. Try to make sure that your arms come over your head. Unless you get stuck, then they can come around the side. It will make it a little bit easier on this one if you take your arms around the side. And make sure that one is left and right. All right, guys, long video. Thank you for sticking with me, and I hope that you have a great workout and have lots of improvements down the line. Good job, guys.